My fiancée told me before our wedding. She was drawn to another guy and needed to test her feelings. I canceled everything and walked away. Now she's broke, divorced, unwanted, while I've moved on and leveled up completely. Hey Reddit. So I never thought I'd be the guy posting here, but life had other plans. Long story short, I was engaged, thought I had it all lined up, and then 3 weeks before the wedding, everything flipped. What happened after that was messy, hilarious in hindsight, and honestly the best thing that could have happened to me. Figured I'd share it here. Maybe some of you will relate, or at least get a laugh out of it. So yeah, this all started with me thinking I had life figured out at 28. I was Kenny, project manager, decent apartment, solid bank account, decent car. Not rich, not broke, just comfortable. Comfortable in a good way, not the still living in mom's basement with an Xbox from 2010 type. I had Rita, 27 female, my girlfriend of 5 years. We met back in college in some psychology class. She was the loudmouth in the front row always trying to make the professor laugh, and I was the guy in the back making sarcastic notes about how none of this was ever going to apply in the real world. Somehow she liked that I was the calm one. She called me her rock. Spoiler. Apparently rocks aren't exciting enough after 5 years. Who knew? Anyway, things were solid at first. When her mom got sick, I was the one driving her to appointments, paying bills when she couldn't focus, even turned down a legit career move in another state just to stay near her family. If you're wondering, yes, I regret that one now. But at the time, I thought it was what you did when you're building a future with someone. She ate it up. You're so dependable, Kenny. You make me feel safe. If only I'd known safe was her code word for eventually boring. The proposal was simple. She cried, said yes, posted a dozen photos with captions like, "Forever with my best friend." Everyone congratulated us. I actually thought I'd nailed it. We set the wedding date, booked a pretty sweet outdoor venue, sent invites. About 100 guests, mostly friends and family. Deposits, all from my savings. She didn't really have any at the time. Rita was living paycheck to paycheck back then. Dress shopping, catering, florist. Guess who swiped his card while she beamed about our dream day? Now, here's the part where guys will nod their heads. 6 months out, the weird stuff starts. Rita suddenly loves team building at work. Translation, staying out late with coworkers. And suddenly this one guy keeps popping up in conversation. His name? River. I swear his parents must have thought they were naming a golden retriever. Anyway, Rita laughed too hard when she mentioned him. River's so adventurous. River just went skydiving. River's planning a big group trip. You get the idea. At first, I didn't think much of it. I'm not the jealous type. I don't go snooping through phones or grilling someone over every text. But then the social media posts started. Group selfies with River always in the shot, grinning like he'd just discovered teeth. It wasn't just the pictures, though. She started comparing me to him, casually dropping lines like, "River just went skydiving. Maybe we should try something exciting too." I'd suggest a weekend trip somewhere nice, and she'd shrug like I just offered to go walk around a hardware store. I brushed it off at the time, figured it was pre-wedding stress. But in hindsight, nah, it was Rita already scouting for her next upgrade. Thing is, I didn't confront her. I didn't whine or throw jealous accusations. I played it cool. I watched, listened, took notes. That's my style. I'm not dumb enough to beg someone to stay when they're already halfway out the door. So while she was busy chasing adrenaline stories from Mr. River, I was doubling down on my grind. More hours at work, applied for a promotion I'd passed on before, started hitting the gym more consistently. If Rita thought I was predictable, fine. I'd be predictably successful while she played games. And here's what still makes me laugh. She kept calling me her rock even during this phase. Like I was supposed to be flattered. Nah, I knew what that meant by then. It meant, you'll still be here paying for this wedding even if I'm daydreaming about River's latest skydiving stunt. I wasn't panicking though. Honestly, I was just waiting to see how far she'd push it. Because when people are entitled, they eventually overplay their hand. And Rita? She was about to play hers 3 weeks before our wedding. 3 weeks before the wedding. That's when Rita decided to test just how much nonsense I'd tolerate. I'd cook dinner that night. Nothing crazy, just pasta with her favorite sauce. I thought we were just having a normal evening. She's sitting there half scrolling her phone, half pushing food around her plate like a picky teenager. I ask, "You good?" Expecting maybe she's stressed about the seating chart or her sister being a pain. Instead, she puts her fork down, crosses her arms, and hits me with, "Kenny, we need to talk." Now every guy knows that line never leads to a vacation or a new car. My brain went, Okay, here comes the speech. She takes a deep breath, like she's practicing for a TED Talk. I think we should postpone the wedding. I just stared at her for a second. Fork halfway to my mouth, pasta hanging like a sad little noodle bridge. Postpone, I repeated. What are we doing, Rita? Rescheduling a dentist appointment. She shifts in her chair, all serious. I've been feeling drawn to someone else. River, from work. It's not physical, but the feelings are strong. I need space to explore them. It's not fair to either of us to rush into marriage until I know for sure. Or I had to bite my tongue to keep from laughing. This woman really just sat across from me 3 weeks before our paid-in-full wedding and basically said, hey, can I go test drive River first? If it doesn't work out, we can reschedule our happily ever after for a later date. I set my fork down nice and slow. So let me get this straight. You want to keep me on the bench while you go see if River can dunk. And if he can't, you'll come back and let me play again? Her eyes narrowed, like I wasn't taking her midlife crisis at 27 seriously. Don't make this dramatic, Kenny. This is about my growth. You've been great, steady, reliable, but River makes me feel alive. He challenges me. With you, it's just safe. That word again. Safe. She said it like it was an insult. Meanwhile, who do you think kept the lights on? Who bailed her out of credit card debt twice? Who turned down a job in another state because she didn't want to move? But apparently that's a safe. And River's karaoke nights are growth. I leaned back, arms crossed, and smirked. So, basically, you're trading in a house with a roof for a tent in the woods because it feels more adventurous. Got it. She rolled her eyes. You're twisting my words. You should thank me for being honest. Most women would just cheat. At least I'm giving you the truth before the wedding. Oh, thank you, Saint Rita, I shot back. Thank you for blessing me with your honesty while you explain how I'm too boring to marry, but still good enough to keep on standby in case River turns out to be a jackass. Truly heroic. Her jaw clenched. I could tell she expected begging, pleading, some big meltdown. Instead, I just stayed calm and roasted her logic. It rattled her more than if I'd yelled. She tried one more angle. Maybe we can just reschedule. Once I sort this out, we can pick another date. I laughed. Actually laughed. Yeah, sure. Let me just call the venue and tell them, hey guys, can you hold the date? My fiancé wants to go audition another guy first. Should only take a few months. We'll get back to you. I'm sure they'll love that. Her face turned red. She wasn't used to me flipping it back on her like that. Rita thrived on people caving. Not this time. Finally, she muttered, you're unbelievable. After everything we've been through, you won't even fight for me? That was the part that really made me smirk. Fight for what? For the privilege of being your backup plan while you see if River's adventurous enough? Nah. You want River? Go have River. I'm not running second string in my own life. Silence. Just her blinking at me, clearly not expecting me to hand her exactly what she thought she wanted. I stood up, cleared the plates, and started washing dishes like it was any other night. Didn't yell, didn't argue, just cleaned the kitchen. If you're done with dinner, you might want to pack a bag. Sounds like you've got some growth to go chase. She sputtered. So, you're just okay with this? You're not going to fight me at all? I shrugged. Rita, the fight was over the second you sat down and told me River makes you feel alive. What's there to argue about? You made your choice. I'm just not going to sit here pretending I'm lucky to be considered Plan B. That shut her up. She stormed off to the bedroom, probably expecting me to chase her. I didn't. I finished the dishes, watched some dumb show, went to bed on the couch, and slept like a baby. Next morning, I fired off emails to the vendors and left voicemails. Spent Monday on the phone finishing cancellations, got partial refunds from a couple of them, lost some deposits, sure, but money can be made back. Dignity? That doesn't come with a refund policy. I even asked for the ring back, figured it was mine since I paid for it. She flat out refused, said she was keeping it as a memory. Yeah, a memory that just reminds her of her stupidity. Then I sent one clean message to both families and close friends. Wedding's off. Rita and I are going separate ways. Thanks for understanding. No details, no drama, just facts. Of course, Rita's mom blew up my phone demanding explanations. Her sister texted me something like, "You're so cold. Why aren't you fighting for her?" Blocked. By the end of the weekend, I'd packed my stuff, left my key on the counter, and moved into a short-term corporate apartment a co-worker hooked me up with. Not fancy, but it gave me breathing room while I figured out a permanent place. No screaming matches, no closure talks, just done. Because here's the thing. If someone wants to postpone a wedding to go chase River the Golden Retriever, you don't argue. You let them go, and you thank them later for showing you their true colors before you wasted even more of your life. I didn't leave in some dramatic movie scene way. No yelling in the parking lot, no crying into the steering wheel, just a backpack, a couple boxes, and me dropping the key on the counter like I was clocking out of a job I didn't want anymore. Which, honestly, is exactly what it felt like. Relationship resignation. Effective immediately. I got myself a one-bedroom across town. Small, but mine. No art decor, no compromise on throw pillows or curtains I didn't like. I bought a black leather couch that was probably too big for the space but looked cool anyway. Threw a big TV on the wall. Basic bachelor setup, but it felt clean. Fresh. Like a reset button I didn't know I needed. I didn't text her, not once. Didn't stalk her socials. Didn't drive by to accidentally bump into her. None of that weak stuff. Full no contact. Because if you give people like that an inch, they'll crawl right back into your life with excuses and crocodile tears. And I wasn't about to be the idiot who held the door open. Instead, I redirected all that leftover energy. Work? I went full throttle. I was already a project manager at a tech firm, but I'd been passing on a promotion because Rita didn't want me too busy with wedding planning. Now, no wedding, no Rita, nothing stopping me. I started taking every big project they'd throw my way. Stayed late, led meetings, made myself the go-to guy. People noticed fast. On top of that, I hit the gym harder. I wasn't trying to get revenge ripped, just needed structure. Something to keep me from sitting at home replaying Rita's "River makes me feel alive" speech. So I picked up a new routine, started lifting more, hiking on weekends. Felt good to actually invest in myself instead of being the human ATM narc emotional support animal she'd trained me to be. Meanwhile, updates about Rita and River started leaking through mutual friends. You know how people love gossip. Someone always has news. I didn't ask, but it trickled in anyway. First, it was glowing stuff. Rita and River were official, posting all over Instagram about their little road trips. Cheesy captions like "living my best life." I scrolled past one someone showed me and just thought, cool, enjoy the gas station snacks while you blow through your savings. I kept it moving. While they were out playing adventurous Barbie and Ken, I was stacking wins. Promotion interview lined up, money getting better, apartment coming together. Even managed to get some of my deposits refunded from vendors. Turns out if you cancel the right way, some places cut you a partial check. Felt like a small victory. Thing is, I never tried to one-up Rita. I wasn't sitting there plotting revenge or trying to make her jealous. My whole mindset was, she made her choice, now I make mine. And my choice was to become the guy who never has to worry about someone like her again. One night, about a month after moving into the new place, I was sitting on that oversized couch eating takeout, and it hit me. The peace. No passive-aggressive digs about me being too safe. No background stress about whether she was really working late or hanging with River again. Just silence. Honest silence. And for the first time in a while, I realized I liked it. That's when the switch flipped. I stopped asking, why me? And started thinking, good thing it was me now. Not me 5 years deeper with kids and a mortgage. Honestly, that thought alone was better than any therapy session. By the time a couple months rolled around, I wasn't just surviving. I was upgrading. New routines, new hobbies, new confidence. And every upgrade I made was another reminder. Rita didn't leave some boring safe guy behind. She left a guy who was about to outgrow her anyway. And she was about to find out just how fast karma works when you think the grass is greener with someone like River. At first, I'll admit, it looked like she was thriving. Social media was a highlight reel. Rita and River at concerts. Rita and River hiking. Rita and River on some random road trip with matching sunglasses. I never checked her pages myself. Friends kept shoving screenshots in my face. But her captions were nauseating. Never settle. Always chase what sets your soul on fire. Meanwhile, I'm at my new place with takeout and Netflix, thinking, yeah, chase that fire while your rent check bounces. People in our circle ate it up for a while. Rita's so happy, they'd tell me, like I cared. Newsflash. I wasn't losing sleep over their couple selfies. I had better things to do than compare my life to two people who thought skydiving was a personality trait. But here's the fun part. When people are entitled, they can only fake it so long before the cracks show. And with Rita, the cracks weren't tiny. They were canyon-sized. It started with the control. River wasn't just adventurous. He was a full-on control freak once the honeymoon phase wore off. Charming in group settings, but behind the scenes? Different story. Friends told me he'd blow up over small stuff. One time, he straight up took Rita's phone at a restaurant because she was paying more attention to Instagram than him. She laughed it off, but everyone at the table exchanged that look. You know the one. Like, this isn't cute. It's creepy. Then came the money games. River had this entrepreneur persona. You know the type, always talking about being a visionary, but never actually holding down a steady paycheck. He pitched some joint venture and convinced Rita to quit her job to support their future business. Translation: he wanted her savings account, and she fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. She poured what little savings she'd scraped together after we split into his half-baked idea. Nothing came of it. We're talking her only money down the drain, zero return. Worse, when she ditched our old apartment, she signed the new lease with River under her name. He even put all the bills on her too. Electric, internet, everything. Smart move on his part, I guess. She was basically his financial shield while he played entrepreneur on LinkedIn. And while she was busy bankrolling his dreams, River was busy, well, being River. Turns out his definition of adventure included seeing other women. A buddy of mine who worked in the same office said River was shameless about it, flirting with coworkers, sneaking off during lunch breaks, even getting caught making out with a girl from accounting at a company happy hour. Not rumors. Actual caught in the act stuff. What did Rita do? Instead of packing her bags, she doubled down. Classic. Like if she admitted failure, the whole follow your heart narrative would collapse. 6 months after leaving me, she rushed into a courthouse wedding with him. No flowers, no venue, just a quick, I do, like she was proving something. Probably thought it made her rebound look serious. Spoiler, it didn't. Reality slapped her quick. The fights got worse, the money dried up, and River's cheating wasn't exactly a secret. He'd stay out all night, come home broke, and somehow flip it so she was the problem, because she wasn't supporting his vision. Classic gaslight routine. Within a year, the whole thing tanked. Around the 9-month mark, River bailed. Just disappeared one day. A few months later, the divorce papers hit. By then, she was buried in debt, overdue bills, and an eviction notice. No savings, no job, no backup plan. The guy she bet everything on turned out to be exactly what he looked like from day one. A smooth-talking bum with a nice smile and zero stability. And here's where it got even better. Rita's career? Done. Turns out when you hook up with a coworker, quit your job for him, then implode publicly, it doesn't make you look like a prime hire. Word spreads fast in mid-sized cities, especially in marketing where everyone knows everyone. She applied around, but doors were closed. She'd built her whole career woman identity, and now she was blacklisted. Her social circle shrank too. At first, her friends hyped her up. You're so brave for choosing love, Rita. But as the drama unfolded, they started distancing themselves. People don't want to get sucked into chaos. A few even reached out to me saying, man, you really dodged a bullet. She treated you like a placeholder while chasing a guy who couldn't even pay his own bills. Couldn't have said it better myself. Meanwhile, I didn't lift a finger. I didn't call her out online. Didn't send her a smug told you so text. Didn't care enough to play that game. I just kept grinding. Promotion on the horizon. Gym sessions paying off. Apartment looking sharp. The contrast couldn't have been clearer. While she was bouncing between couches and motels, I was stacking wins. I'd walk into work, get compliments on leading projects, and in the back of my head I'd think, somewhere out there, Rita is probably arguing with a landlord about late rent while River's posting his next business idea on Facebook. And the best part? She couldn't blame anyone but herself. She traded stability for excitement, and the excitement left her broke, jobless, and alone. That wasn't bad luck. That was her own decision-making. Karma doesn't always show up fast. But for Rita, it showed up like Amazon Prime delivery, and I didn't have to pay a cent for it. That's the part that stings the most for people like Rita. She did all this soul-searching, trashed me for being too safe, burned her own life to the ground, and the guy she threw it all away for vanished. Meanwhile, I was living rent-paid, steady job, on track for a promotion, and slowly piecing myself into a better version of me. She lost the game she invented, and now she wanted to replay it on my console. The first attempt came in the form of a random text. New number. Just said, hey Kenny, it's me. Can we talk? I miss you. Miss me? This isn't a dog you left at the kennel. You don't disappear for River, and then pop back like nothing happened. I didn't even type a reply. Straight block. A few days later, I get an email from her old work account. Yeah, the job she quit for River's joint venture. The subject line, please just read. Inside was this long sob story about how River wasn't who she thought he was, how he was abusive and cheating, how she made a mistake, and remembered how good we were. I almost laughed out loud at the line, remember how good we were? Like, oh yeah, Rita, I totally forgot about the part where you ditched me 3 weeks before our wedding to explore your feelings. Thanks for the reminder. So I gave her the courtesy of one sentence. Not interested. Take care. Block that email too. But when entitled people can't get through the front door, they start looking for side windows. Next thing I know, her best friend Lisa leaves me a voicemail. Kenny, I know you're hurt, but Rita's really in a bad place. She's crashing on my couch. She's broke. She knows she messed up. Just hear her out, okay? Nah. I don't play adoption center for grown adults who blew up their own life. I didn't call back. Then her sister Megan texted me. Grow up, Kenny. After everything you two had, you can't even give her a conversation? You moved on too quick, man. Be a man and call her. Be a man? Right. Because being a man apparently means letting Rita treat me like a safety net. I didn't even bother replying. Blocked. And that's when Rita escalated. I was walking out of my office building one afternoon, heading for lunch, and there she was, waiting by the entrance. Hair a mess, makeup smudged, wearing some old hoodie like she hadn't done laundry in weeks. She looked like a knockoff version of the girl I used to know. Kenny, please, she said, stepping closer, eyes red like she'd been crying. Don't walk away. I need to talk to you. I kept my distance. This isn't the place or the time. But Rita never cared about time or place when she wanted something. She started spilling it all right there on the sidewalk. I was wrong, okay? So wrong. River was a nightmare. He cheated on me with half the office, took all my savings, screamed at me every day. I'm broke, Kenny. I'm living in a motel, applying for jobs, but no one will hire me. Even my mom says I messed up. But you were always there. Stable. I need that now. We can start over. The wedding was just postponed. Let's pick it back up. I couldn't help it. I laughed, like a full-on chuckle. The audacity was insane. She actually thought she could just dust off the word postponed, and we'd reset 5 years like it was a paused Netflix show. Rita, I said, still smirking, the wedding wasn't postponed. It was canceled. By you. Remember? You postponed it right into River's bed. Don't act like I was on hold this whole time waiting for your grand return. Her eyes went wide, like she couldn't believe I wasn't melting at her sob story. So you're just done? Just like that? Yeah, I shrugged. It's amazing what happens when someone tells you you're too safe and predictable. You stop being safe and predictable. I stopped waiting for you to get bored of being an idiot. That's when her face twisted from sad to pissed. You're selfish. After everything we had, after 5 years, you won't even fight for me? Real love fights, Kenny. You're a coward. I grinned. Funny. I thought real love didn't ask for a rain check, so you could go audition a guy named River. Guess my definition's different. She clenched her fists, like she wanted me to feel bad. But it wasn't landing. She was still the same Rita, turning everything around so she was the victim, and I was supposed to grovel. Only difference was, I wasn't buying it anymore. I took a step back, keeping it calm. Look, Rita, I'm not your rehab center. You wanted excitement. You got it. Don't come running back now that excitement maxed out your credit cards and wrecked your reputation. I don't recycle bad decisions. Her mouth opened and closed like she wanted to argue, but had nothing left. Finally, she hissed, You'll regret this. No one else will put up with your boring ass. I just smiled. Good. Saves me the trouble of running into another Rita. And then with that, I went back through the doors, ignoring her like she was just another random person on the street. But she didn't quit. That's the thing with people who are entitled. They don't take no as an answer. They take it as a challenge. A week later, her dad even called me, trying to pull the family's family guilt trip. Son, Rita's learned her lesson. Don't be stubborn. Fix this. I hung up mid-sentence. Not playing that game either. By then it was obvious. Rita wasn't trying to apologize. She was trying to reset her life using me as the restart button. But I wasn't her do-over. I was the guy who moved on while she spiraled. And nothing she said was going to change that. After that office building ambush and her dad's half-baked guilt call, Rita finally slowed down on the direct attempts. Maybe she realized I wasn't budging. Or maybe she just ran out of new numbers to text me from. Either way, the silence felt good. Like standing outside after a storm, things still messy, but at least the noise was gone. And that's when I started reconnecting with the guys. See, when you're in a long relationship, especially with someone like Rita, you end up sacrificing a lot of your circle, not because they vanish, but because you're always busy. Date nights, family dinners, her work events that you have to smile through. Before I knew it, my bro time had shrunk to once every couple weeks, usually when she had other plans. So after the Rita meltdown, I texted the group chat. What's up, losers? I'm back. The responses came flying in. Memes, trash talk. Someone even posted a picture of my old college nickname. Within a week, We had a poker night planned at my buddy's place. First one I'd been to in years. Walking in felt like a time machine. Same group of idiots, same dumb arguments over who shuffled the deck wrong. They roasted me nonstop, of course. "So how's life as the guy who dodged a courthouse wedding with the office clown?" one of them said. I just grinned. Better than being the guy who married her. The whole table lost it. It felt good. No pretending. No walking on eggshells worrying if Rita was going to give me grief about something later. Just guys being guys. Pizza boxes, bad jokes, arguing over sports we didn't even watch. By the end of the night, I realized how much I'd missed this. Stability isn't just a relationship. It's knowing your circle's still solid when you come back. Meanwhile, life on my end kept climbing. That promotion I'd gone for? Landed it. Pay bump, more responsibility, office with a window. Rita used to say I was too comfortable in my role, like ambition was a flaw. Funny how once she was gone, my career leveled up like it had been waiting for her dead weight to clear out. With the raise, I upgraded apartments again. Bigger place, better neighborhood, room for hosting. I invited the bros over for UFC fights, video game nights, even started grilling out on weekends. Every time the jokes came back to Rita. "Man, she really downgraded to River, huh? Imagine choosing karaoke night over a guy with a stocked fridge and a balcony view." I didn't even need to say anything, just laughed and let them roast on my behalf. But Rita wasn't done. Oh no, entitled people never quit when they see you thriving. They get desperate. About 6 months after her motel confession, she tried one last stunt. I got an email from some new account with the subject line, "A sign we should try again." Against my better judgment, I opened it. Inside was a photo of the engagement ring I'd bought her, the one I figured she pawned for gas money by now. She wrote, "I kept it because it still means something. I know I don't deserve another chance, but maybe this is the universe telling us we should start over." I stared at the screen and just shook my head. The universe? No, Rita. The universe wasn't telling us to start over. The universe was telling me I dodged a lifetime subscription to your drama. I replied with one line, "Pawn it. You need the rent money more than I need a reminder." Then I blocked the email. And that was the last time I let her words even hit my inbox. By then, my life was unrecognizable from the wreckage she left me in. Career on the rise, bank account healthier than ever, bros back in my corner, weekends filled with stuff I actually wanted to do. No nagging about being predictable, no walking on eggshells, no waiting for the other shoe to drop. Just me living how I should have been living all along. What made it even sweeter was the contrast. I didn't have to dig for updates about Rita. They just trickled in. A friend ran into her working a short-term gig and said she looked drained, like life had aged her 5 years in one. Another said she was couch surfing again after getting kicked out of her motel. Everyone knew the River situation was a disaster, and by then, even the people who used to hype her up had stopped defending her. It wasn't just that she fell, it's that everyone saw it. Everyone who once told me I was lucky to have her now knew she'd torched her own life. And me? I was the guy who came out clean. I remember one night sitting on the balcony with the guys, beer cans clinking on the table, city lights in the background. One of them looked at me and said, "Crazy how she called you boring. But now you're the one with the good job, good place, and good people around you. She's out there begging for help. Who's boring now?" I just grinned. Guess safe and predictable pays the bills. That's the thing Rita never understood. Stability isn't boring. It's power. It's building something that doesn't collapse. The second life gets messy. She wanted fireworks, but fireworks burn out fast. I built something steady, and when she tried to crawl back, it was too late. I wasn't her backup plan. I was her lesson. Life settled into a new rhythm after that. Work was steady, my circle was solid, weekends with the bros were back, and Rita was nothing more than an occasional rumor I'd hear through someone else. Honestly, I figured that was it. Her chaos would just fade into the background while I kept moving forward. But life has a way of throwing in one last encore. For me, it came at Tom's wedding. Tom had been in our friend group since college. Good dude, solid guy. About a year after everything with Rita blew up, he and his fiancée booked this outdoor venue. Funny enough, the same one Rita and I had originally reserved. When the invite hit my mailbox, I laughed. Of course, full circle. I RSVP'd yes without hesitation. On the day of, I rolled up in a sharp suit, couple of the guys with me, feeling like $1,000,000. We grabbed drinks, found our seats, cracked jokes about who was most likely to cry during the vows. Everything was smooth. Then I saw her. Across the lawn, standing awkwardly by the bar, was Rita. Thinner, stressed looking, eyes darting around like she didn't belong. Turns out she got a last-minute invite through some lingering tie with Tom's fiancée. My stomach didn't drop or anything. If anything, I felt amused. Like, of course she'd find a way to crash my victory lap. I ignored her through the ceremony, focused on Tom, the vows, the cheers, but at the reception, I felt her eyes on me. Sure enough, halfway through dinner, she made a beeline my way. "Kenny," she said, voice low, almost shaky. "Can we talk?" I sighed, set my drink down, and stepped aside. Might as well let her embarrass herself one more time. She launched right into it. Seeing all this, it kills me. This could have been us. We had everything, and I threw it away. River's gone, walked out at 9 months, divorce finalized a few months after, and he left me with nothing. I've got no job, no home, barely any friends. Everyone's ghosting me because they know what I did to you. And I realize now, you were my everything. Please, Kenny, let's start over. I'll change. I looked at her, calm as ever. Same old Rita, everything framed around her loss, her struggles, her pain. Not once did she acknowledge what she did to me. No real apology, just desperation dressed up as regret. "Rita," I said, keeping my voice level, "that chapter's closed. You left me to go chase fireworks and you got burned. That's on you. I'm not reopening the book." Her face twisted. "How can you be so indifferent? After 5 years? After everything we had?" "Easy," I said, smirking. "You taught me to prioritize myself. That's the only gift you ever gave me. So thanks for the lesson. I'm doing great now." Her mouth fell open, like she couldn't believe I just dropped it that cold. Around us, I could hear whispers. People already knew the story, already knew how she'd tanked her own life. She looked small, standing there while the whole room buzzed with quiet judgment. "You'll regret this," she muttered finally, voice cracking. "No one else will ever love you like I did." I chuckled. "That's the point, Rita." Then I turned, walked back to my table, and clinked glasses with the guys like nothing happened. She didn't follow. She didn't cause a scene. She just stood there for a minute, then slipped out early. By the time dessert came, she was gone. That was the last time I saw her. No more texts, no more emails, no more desperate calls from her family. Just silence. And honestly, it was perfect. Because at the end of the day, the real win wasn't roasting her or watching her spiral. The real win was that I got my peace back. I got my life back. And she was nothing more than a cautionary tale people whispered about over drinks. So yeah, Rita thought she was postponing our wedding to go find herself. What she really postponed was her own downfall. And by the time she realized it, I was already gone, thriving without her. I wasn't her safe option. I wasn't her backup plan. I was her lesson. And the funny part? She taught me mine too.